Good evening, guys. Hello. So, there I was, sitting down on my what do you call it? What do you call these things? Beanbag by the fireplace. Don't worry, the fireplace is not on. It's quite warm. Chilling, getting myself ready before I need to go back and do some more debugging. I'm doing some late night coding. I don't know, for those of you that are engineers, do you code late night? I find it nicer, especially when I have a difficult problem to crack. And this pops up on my timeline. So for those of you who may not know, those of you that are new to this, to my page, mwah, thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome. Those of you that are new to the squad life, and even if you're not a squaddy, if you're curious, if you're balanced, and if you just want to get the tea, I drag people here. Yes, it is my bread. It has. I won't lie. When I started in January, it was more of a passionate thing, but now I find it very therapeutic to drag the hell out of the haters. I raise my hand up and hold it proud, my 10 toes and 5 fingers. I am a Duchess Meghan fan, stan, whatever you want to call me. I am a big fan of hers. I admire women who defy the odds and who get things done, right? I also am a big fan of Meghan because she hasn't done anything wrong. This relentless pillaring in the press, the fact that people have been able to monetize YouTube pages and channels or whatever channels they use, insulting and lying on this woman is a disgrace. And I want to bring a different type of response to that type of thing. So again, no shade to I am not going I am not by any means shading other members of the Sussex squad who, or even fans who use their pages to kind of speak truth to facts and push back at these narratives. But my approach is from a place of just absolute irritation and frustration that this continues to go on. No matter what we throw at these people, they still find a way to come back like cockroaches. But I will say that I think one of the ways to dismantling their narrative, which Meghan has done brilliantly, is coming back on social media. I love that whatever decision that prompted her to make her do this, I'm glad. Personally, I think it should have happened earlier. But you know what? I think intentionally or unintentionally, the idea of letting them deceive themselves into thinking that they have bullied her off social media and they can just be saying what they like probably gave them a false sense of, oh well, we are in charge here. In literally less than, is it up to 3 months, Meghan has destroyed a lot of people's careers. We barely see as many people, especially from the British royal rota, posting the same fake information and narratives that they will not that normally push. The speculation about Harry and Meghan's marriage, the speculation about the kids, speculation about Meghan's business, and just the general speculation about Meghan generally has been, I would say, a lot of it has been destroyed in just 3 months. So I hope she and her team have learned. I hope this is continuing. I hope this is not going to stop. I'm not saying that she must post everything every day, but I look forward to what her business grows into, because it is going to grow. And I think, yeah, I'm liking the social media strategy. The idea of let it come from me, perfect. Because what better way to destroy the narrative than to directly control the narrative? The same thing with her shopping and her business. Everything comes from her now. And honestly, kudos. Like I said, as a businesswoman, she is someone we can learn from on how to take whatever type of narratives just basically how to use the media, whatever small platform we have, to our advantage. Sorry for that long intro. I just wanted to give newer people the tea. Please feel free to skip to the dragging. The dragging now commences, guys. So Matt Wilkinson and the merry idiots from The Sun have decided to give us something that nobody asked for, but they're going to give us anyway, because Meghan is literally the only way they make money. 2 or 3 engagements this week by Charles and Camilla. Charles and Camilla have gone somewhere. I guess. Sorry, I don't pay attention to what those two people do, because I could have sworn I've seen. Oh yes, sorry. The Pope told them not to bother to come and see him in Italy. Yeah, he knows that these two lazy people have nothing to bring to the table and they're just going to stress him. So he was like, well, I beg, don't come, Joe. The man has been through enough. Let him rest. And I think Wills is doing some sort of event somewhere today. One would think that that would be breaking news, but nope, they've not reported on that. I was even thinking this segment was a shorter version of maybe a longer segment, but this segment is literally all they have, and it's on Harry and Meghan, not on the actual working royals. On Harry and Meghan, this is the only thing they've posted this week. Who is the star of the show? Meghan. Let's get to it.
And this is Royal Exclusive. Today we welcome to the studio the Sun's legendary photographer Arthur Edwards and news.com.au royal correspondent Bronte Coy. And would you...
For those of you that have been here long enough, these exact same three people were the same people that were predicting Harry and Meghan's show was going to be cancelled. It was very nice reacting to their stupid faces. For those of you who may not have seen it, please feel free to check my playlist. Just check around the time that Meghan announced that she got a season 2. I react to their stupid speculation. It was hilarious.
I believe it's been 5 years since Megxit, where the Sussexes stepped back as working royals and Harry and Meghan decided to move to California. Right, you two. Let's have a quick chat about 5 years.
Sorry, I feel like I should say this. This is just Mr. Genoa and stupid and this their ridiculous hate against Meghan taking over. Harry was the one that made the decision to move his family out of the royal, out from being working royals because of the lack of protection they were getting, because he was concerned about his wife's mental health. At this time, Meghan was quite, just before she had her baby, Meghan revealed to Harry that she was suicidal and she wanted to kill herself. And yeah, I think all these things culminating together and just general lack of care and concern for his family's well-being. The guy said, "Nah, I'm leaving." Interesting that they decided to call it Megxit, but I guess British press will British press.
5 years on from Megxit. Are we able to say who's come out on top and whether it was the right decision for the Buckingham Palace and also the Sussexes?
I don't think they've come out on top. No, I think they're doing okay in a society where it's important to be like that, and they're doing pretty well in America. But you know, in 10 years, I mean, in 5 years' time, I hope Harry's back here working for the royal family, because I worked with him when he did that, and he was brilliant at it. And I think what I see him doing in America now, I don't think he's fulfilling his full potential. He's playing polo matches and doing very little, and he misses his working his socks off. You know, I mean, whatever we say about these shows, you know, they take a lot of organising, a lot of filming, and a lot of refilming and doing it properly. And this Harry's doing anything. In fact, we don't see Harry much these days. So I think that the 5 years they've managed to accuse the royal family of racism. They've said some awful things about Camilla. He's been writing about he's fighting with his brother. All the things you just don't do. You keep all that out of the limelight. You don't talk about the family. And she's been on to Oprah Winfrey, and she's done all this, saying all these things, some of which is untrue. And I think, you know, all we do is talk about them. You know, every day in the papers or doing something, we're just talking about them. So they must be doing something.
Listening to that, Bronte, that Arthur's just listed everything that has happened since Megxit, has it been a successful Megxit for Harry and Meghan? Is this where they envisaged that they would?
Sorry, I was just testing out the caption thing. I didn't like that the grammar didn't seem clear enough, so I decided to drop it. Let me quickly respond to this nonsense that this windbag just said. First of all, again, I feel like, how many times will we discuss this? But again, this is for people that are new to this, right? Harry and Meghan accused the royal family of racism because they were Meghan especially was racially attacked by the royal family, saying that Kate and Charles saying that they were concerned about the darkness of Archie's skin it doesn't get more racist than that. What else did they need to call her the N-word? I don't understand. And the fact that Kate never stood up for her when the press lied, when it was leaked that she made Kate cry, when that wasn't true, when Kate was an absolute biatch during Meghan's wedding or the lead up to Meghan's wedding. Even from what I heard during the reception, they were nasty, they were rude, they tried to mess up the seating arrangements. And yeah, I mean, look, that was what they did. They had to, because after they left, and this is one thing the British media likes doing, and even me, this is why I keep on saying it. It sounds like I'm repeating it. I'm trying to avoid them from rewriting history. We all saw the articles that were released after Meghan and Harry fled the UK. The things they were saying. The things they were saying, the things they were insinuating. Like I said, this Megxit term came from there. Megxit, which is a short for which is a different way of saying Brexit. They started blaming Meghan. It's Meghan's fault. Even though Harry said categorically, and he said it multiple times, said it in his book, I decided to move my family out. Me, I. They still call it Megxit because they are bastards. So there's a reason why I keep on. It sounds like I'm a broken record. It's only just to ensure that people don't forget, and even I, because sometimes I can be lazy too. I don't forget that there was a reason for this. Action, reaction. Everything Harry and Meghan did was a reaction, right, to actions taken or not taken by the royal family and the British press. I just want us to remember that, because 5 years is a long time.
Be 5 years on from leaving the royal family?
You can't imagine that it is, because you cast your mind back. I can remember very clearly in 2020, obviously they had a lot of critics for the way that they left the royal family, but they also did have a lot of supporters, particularly in the US. And I think that they sort of, for me, it looked like they kind of had the world at their feet, because they had left something that is such a unique institution. There was only a handful of people that had the status that they had. There was unprecedented interest in them, whether you're a fan or a critic. They went over there and it felt like this is the start of a real empire. You know, everyone was clamoring to sign them, as we saw with these mega deals in the first year or so. I think it would be hard to argue that this is not now 5 years on how they'd imagined it. It's how they'd imagined it, because reputationally, particularly since last year, the Hollywood Reporter article for me in around September was a real turning point, because it's obviously an industry Bible over there. And then everything that's followed. Reputationally, they've taken a lot of hits, and I think particularly given everything they've put out there, and with the Harry and Meghan documentary and with Harry's book, I think they would have thought that they had more of a firm foundation of support, where it does actually feel like instead they've lost a lot of support in Meghan's home country. So yeah, I think with all the deals they were signing and everything, these big plans, I think I don't think it's panned out how they would have thought.
So this is the same person that was telling us that, giving us her feedback. This woman is a failed actress, by the way, failed model, who was giving us her opinion about whether Meghan's show will get a season 2. I'm going to, because I always say I'm going to do something, but I don't do it. I will link that video so you can listen to this same person give her opinion about the season 2. And literally the very next day, Meghan announces season 2. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like a far-fetched assumption that anything she says is utter and complete nonsense. I want to always remind you guys this, right? Failed actress, failed models, TV personalities. She runs a website, something.au. I don't even know. I wasn't paying attention. That's how irrelevant and insignificant she is. This type of engagements that she gets with The Sun, Talk TV, Australian TV, probably like 30 to 70 quid per appearance. This is how much money she makes. If this woman makes up to 2K a month, I will be shocked. I will be shocked, guys. Unless she has an OnlyFans or something, right? Again, nothing wrong with OnlyFans. Look, people are becoming millionaires up there. I'm not shading anybody. I'm just saying that if her only source of income is this show and that website I'm sure nobody uses, then maybe 2K a month, maybe that. So, like I always say, it's interesting to me that failed entertainers who are barely breaking the bank at 50K a year have opinions about multi-million-dollar business deals they know absolutely F all about. What is she talking about? Common sense would dictate to you that because of the content, because as Arthur Edwards, and even as she rightly said, there is a lot of attention with Harry and Meghan. The first time that documentary came out, especially when it was straight after Megxit, the way you see, I'm so sorry I said that. After they left the royal family, or they were forced out of the royal family, the trailer, the way people wanted the tea. They wanted the tea. So of course it was going to be very successful. People wanted to know what the hell was going on, right? And then of course the Oprah interview, Harry's book, anything that would give them an insight into this elusive family where the only type of information we get about the goings on is from toadying PR people, so-called royal experts, or if they give you tiny fragments of curated information. People wanted to get the tea, so of course they logged in with their initial projects. I think what people also realized, non-Harry and Meghan casual viewers, was things like her podcast, the book she wrote, The Bench. Thank you. I come. Sorry to the user that reminded me. Apologies. I don't recall your name right now. What else did Meghan do? Oh yes, the Polo Show. And even with Love Meghan now. If you are still waiting for Harry and Meghan to talk about their experience in the royal family, of course you're going to be disappointed, because they were very clear 2-3 years ago. We said everything we want to say. We want to move on, and they have. Right? It's the press that keeps on spreading this narrative that every time they spent all this time, every time they're bashing the royal family. They haven't spoken about the royal family publicly in 2-3 years. So they're just clinging to it, because now it's becoming a bit. The casual person is wondering, what is your problem with these people? Enough already. 2-3 years, really? It's like a breakup. It's like a boyfriend or a girlfriend who's left you and won't unclench, let go, move on with your lives. But they can't move on because they're making money from Harry, especially Meghan. So they need to keep on, feeding the fire, telling people that, oh well, she lied on the royal family. She didn't. She spoke about her experience in the royal family. And let's be clear, for those of us who actually watch and I didn't watch the Oprah interview. I don't think I did. But from what I recall, she was repeating information that was told to her by her husband. I don't think they said it to her face. And I'm sure there are other things that she probably experienced that she never spoke about. So I don't know what they're talking about. So yeah, sorry, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Like I said, if you're new to this whole thing, let me advise you, just go and watch the Harry and Meghan documentary on Netflix. Harry's book, go and listen to the audio book if you're not someone that wants to read. Get the tea, make up your own mind. Stop listening to these people. They are lying. And also, they know nothing about the deals Harry and Meghan have written. What will someone that is barely hitting 50, 60K a year know about multi-million-dollar contracts? Shut the F up, Bronte.
Touched on it just now, a really interesting point, because at the moment it's Meghan with all these projects that she's doing. Bronte, where's Harry?
Great question, and I actually did mean to touch on that as well, because something I was thinking about with this Megxit anniversary is there's these articles, and I think there's someone had quoted Meghan herself in that Vanity Fair article in January talking about how Harry hadn't made a lot of friends over in their new home in California. And I think there was an article last year, one of them talked about how he found himself a little bit directionless day to day because he's got bigger projects at times, but like day-to-day activities, that's the kind of thing that keeps you busy and engaged. And so when the kids are at school, what else are you doing to fill your days? And I think that is
a fantastic question, Bronte, and that's the question I keep asking about our future queen. What does Kate do during the day? Shouldn't you take this insight that I don't even know where she's getting this information from. She's again pulling nonsense out of fresh air. And just to, again, if you're new to this space, that Vanity Fair article was based on nameless sources, unknown sources, people who wouldn't give their name on the record. So in my opinion, it is fresh air and bullshit. So I'm choosing to ignore that garbage. Now let's go back to what she was asking. She's right. What will you do to occupy your day, Kate? And if you guys were actually doing your job, we would know what the future Queen of England does day to day when her kids are in school. Because I hope, oh my goodness, I hope that woman, you know what, guys, something just occurred to me. I hope they really are not trying to make Kate Middleton a housewife. No, they wouldn't. Do you guys think they would? What do you think? Put your comments in the chat. They wouldn't dare. Oh, they wouldn't dare. Anyway, let's see.
Something, as you said, where is Harry is the question, because there's two different Harrys you're hearing about. There's he's never been happier or he's missing home. Again,
Okay. There's only one Harry. I don't know what this woman is talking about. Harry himself, on multiple occasions, on the record, has said he is happy in California. They asked him a direct question a month ago, or just about a month ago. I think it was a month ago. And he couldn't even name the things that he missed about the UK. He was MMIM. I will post the shots I created about that. I'm not saying, obviously, Harry grew up in this country. His family members are here. And I think he even mentions it in his book. I'm sure he misses his family. I'm sure he misses being around his cousins, even his siblings, his nieces and his nephews. But they're making it sound like as if Harry coming out, looking them in the eye and saying, I'm not really missing. I mean, these are the things I am missing. Their brain is not accepting this information. So they are... Look at how she's giving Harry two split personalities. Who is the other person that is giving you opinions, Bronte? Who is the other person? Who? Which other Harry? It's because he's saying what you didn't want to hear, right? So you're now creating another perspective. He didn't tell you that he was missing anything, did he? So who is this other person you are referring to, Psycho?
Again, I think the truth is somewhere in the middle, but certainly it would be the case that after living his entire life within an institution that kind of took care of his daily activities for him, all of a sudden he isn't in that situation anymore, and the excitement of that and the newness of that he would have had after his first couple of years of freedom would certainly have worn off by now, 5 years in.
What?
And I think, I just want to say one thing. When Donald Trump comes over, he got no time for Meghan, does he? So the royal family, I love talking to him about that. Yeah. That'd be interesting.
You know the royal family, the ins and outs.
That was such a childish and petty, silly thing to say. That was such a petty thing to say. I wouldn't expect a man of 80 to say something like that. But like I said, it is that anger and misery that is eating him in from the inside. Old cow.
You've been watching them, you've been taking pictures of them, speaking to them for decades. Do you think Megxit has worked for the King, for William, for Catherine, the Queen, for the royal family as a whole that have remained in the UK? Do you think that it's been beneficial to the working royal family?
I don't think so, no, I really don't, because I worked that first year when Meghan, after she married Harry.
This is probably the first thing that he has said in my time of listening to this old ballsack that I actually agree with. Let's see where this is going.
And I thought she was sensational. I mean, I went everywhere with her, Matt, and she was absolutely brilliant. She just gave everything, both of them, and I thought, she was going to be a big asset to the royal family. Obviously, when she scooted off, obviously I changed my view on it. I thought, well, what's better in America than being a member of the royal family here, where you are somebody, where you are important, where you are a major person, a major figure in the country, where now all they are is a couple of celebrities competing with other celebrities to try and make a living.
Yes, let's forget about the fact that Nigeria invited Harry and Meghan to Nigeria and gave Meghan this extremely rare, I don't think I've ever seen it before. Nigerians in the chat, please let me know. Where 3 or 4 different kings from different kingdoms came together and gave her cultural names and titles. I've never seen that happen before in my life. Right. Let's forget the fact that Harry and Meghan went to Colombia. They were invited to Colombia. Let's also forget the fact that Harry and Meghan were invited to Whistler in Canada. Let's forget the fact that Harry, last year, I think between August and September, went to a lot of events because he was invited to in honor of his charity work and his philanthropic work, events that involve the UN, other distinguished NGOs. Let's not forget about Centibele. And guys, for those of you that are wondering, I haven't said anything about Centibele because I am waiting for a reliable source to give me the full rundown. No, I am not going. After the US visa fiasco, I'm sorry, I don't trust any media reporting this. I'm going to let them die down since they've not learned their lesson, and wait for the actual facts to come out, and we'll talk about it. If it takes a week, it takes a week. On this channel, as much as possible, we're not. yes, I would love more engagement, but I am not going to. I don't want you guys to ever come in here and think I am exaggerating or I am lying. That is the reason why you see me reporting and responding live to things. You hear it yourself, you hear me responding to it, right? Because I don't want any confusion about what was said. I don't paraphrase. Well, sometimes I do, but like when I'm responding to something, I get the tea directly from the source for you guys, and that is N for NECA guarantee.
And I just find that, you know, in fact, I think they've come off worse. I think here, as I say, she was somebody. But then she went on and said, you know, they locked up my passport, they won't give me my driving license, all that stuff, which is absolute rubbish, you know, and tried to sort of destroy what I thought she was enjoying. I thought that, as I say, that first.
Again, the rewriting of history is honestly baffling. I love how nobody ever talks about the fact that Meghan was attacked in the press literally every single day. Every single day from when Harry introduced her as his date, as the woman he was seeing, they came after this woman, guys. At first, they started it subtly, then they became full-blown racist. Guys, the harassment, the of not just her of her family, her friends, they tried to bribe people to lie and say they slept with her. They got her father, which is honestly, I can't even imagine a worse heartbreak, honestly. Even if you're not close to your parents, even if your parent is not well, imagine selling out your own child for $100,000. I'm going to say something very harsh, but for those of you who are familiar with with slave history, the transatlantic slave trade, this is what slave masters were doing to their mixed race, to the children they raped they raped their slaves to conceive, you know. They would know. Yeah, I've read about it. Horrific. I can't even. I mean, one of the, in my opinion, the darkest form of that whole slavery, the rapes. Imagine taking a woman who can't say no to you. She conceives a child for you. You know that child is your blood, but because of the fact that it is a slave, you don't mind using that child, in many cases for sex. You don't mind selling off that child to somebody else to use for sex or for labor. What is the difference between what Thomas Markle did and what those men did? For those of you that are thinking this is too dark, this is too harsh, what's the difference, guys? Sold his own child out for $100,000, maybe that's what he got, and still continues to sell her out in the press at any moment. And this is what I'm saying. They're trying to rewrite history. How about the daily attacks by Piers Morgan? When Meghan went on the TV and said she was struggling and she was suicidal, and Piers Morgan came up and said that he didn't believe that she was lying. And guess who he brought? Her father. Or the times that the Australian TV and UK TV would bring her sister and her brother to say terrible things about her on air. The daily, which I call those things daily floggings. Why? What was her crime? What did she do? Because she was popular? Did she ask to be popular? I don't even think she anticipated that she would be that popular. So no, for those of you that are wondering why am I going off on a tangent, please let us not rewrite history. And let's not let them rewrite history, because look at how he's talking like as if she was doing so well those 18 months. So why did they leave? Why would you leave? Meghan's biggest mistake, her most naive mistake, was thinking that because Harry was a hardworking, humble guy, because of something that he was, because of how he was treated and he was discarded in the family, she genuinely thought other members of the family would be just as laid back. And I think that was her biggest mistake. But yeah, sorry. It gets me emotional when I think about all the things she went through, as in just...
That first 18 months, 18 months, I can't tell you, she was like on fire. Everybody, crowds were huge looking at her. You know, she was sensational. I think she's going there. She's a former actress trying to sell a few clothes, you know, and hopefully, you know, people take interest. Well, I think that will die. I think those things, you know, that only last a while, and then people start forgetting and want something different. If Harry had stayed here, their children would have been stars. They would have been Prince and Prince.
AKA, if Harry and Meghan had stayed, they can he can continue to make money from them, continue to take pictures of their children without their permission, continue to sell those pictures to the highest bidder, continue to harass Meghan and harass Harry. See how they are diminishing her achievement. Which other member of the royal family has been able to start any type of business and has been successful? The only person, I think it was Edward Windsor, that tried to do a production company. I don't know. I didn't. I swear to God, I didn't even know. I just found it out by mistake a few months ago, and I was kind of shocked. Actually, it flopped. I think Sophie tried to do business as well. It flopped. Fergie tried to sell herself. I don't know. I wasn't conscious in the 90s, so I have no idea what happened. But from what I understand, she got a lot of controversy, but she's still back now, peddling her title for audience, peddling her title for money. Isn't she back in Prince Andrew's lodge right now? They all tried to capitalize on their HRH. All of them flopped. Meghan left the royal family, stopped being a working royal, does not capitalize on her HRH, and is extremely successful. They keep hoping for her downfall. She's been popular for 10 years. She's not going to stop being popular. Keep dreaming.
Princes and princess, they would have gone to nice, you know, got to know their own cousins and enjoyed life much better. I think all we do is see back views of their children. But I don't know why not? Why is it like that? I don't know. I think they might think they're better off, but I think they're not.
So hypothetically, if you cast your mind forward, look into your crystal ball, just very, very shortly or very briefly, where do you think Harry and Meghan will be in 5 years or 10 years' time, Bronte?
It's so hard to say because look where we are now compared to 5 years ago. Maybe we'll be on season 10 of With Love, Meghan. I don't really think so. Arthur will be watching, we know it.
I won't.
No, I think there's
I
think there's a solid chance. I know it's a divisive topic, but I think there's a solid chance there will be some capacity of Harry working back here or doing work for the Commonwealth. Yeah.
Arthur, where do you think they'll be in 5 or 10 years' time?
Well, I hope he's back. I mean, I really mean that. I think he was superb. He fought he went to war for us. He was just a superstar. He was. I love working with him. I just wished he was back here doing what he does best, which is supporting his father.
Okay. Well, thanks, guys. I really appreciate your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Right, that's all we have time for on this week's Royal Exclusive.
I want to remind everybody that other things have happened this week. Other things have happened this week with the royal family. They're not going to report it because it's not news. The real stars are Harry and Meghan. So even though they've come here to... The real stars are Harry and Meghan, guys. They gave them their own segment. Anyway, I know I got emotional in the middle of that. It's just, again, guys, don't let these people erase history. Don't let these people forget what they did to Meghan and Harry, but more Meghan, that forced Harry's hand. Harry and Meghan did not leave because they hated working in the royal family. They did not leave because they wanted to make money. They did not leave because of whatever stupid reason these people make up. They left because these same people, Matt Wilkinson and that idiot, Bironi, and that old fart, people like them either participated in or were complicit in the continuous, steady, daily, intrusive, terribly abusive and horrible environment they created to attack Meghan for whatever reason. I will never understand why they decided to go this route. I don't know why they wanted her dead, because to me it wasn't so much that they even wanted her out of the family. They wanted her dead. I will never understand why the royal family allowed this to get out of hand. I don't know I don't know why they hated Harry so much. They didn't even think of how her leaving or dying would affect him as a person. And there's a wickedness to that. There's a wickedness to their institution. So if this is really a celebration, a true celebration of Harry and Meghan's exit from this ridiculous, toxic, racist, misogynistic shithole of a family and press. I say hurrah to them. They have been successful. They have done, in my opinion, way more than I thought they were going to do. And I continue to root for them. And I'm sure many of you do. For on to 5 more years. I know they will still be together. I know they will be moving. They'll be on to bigger and better. And guys, don't forget, I am saying it here first. Meghan is going to be a billionaire. I don't care. I don't care. She's going to be a billionaire. And that is it, guys. Please like, please subscribe, please share. Please feel free to go and drag Matt Royal, drag whatever Bronte, and of course, go and drag that old fart. They all deserve it. Take care. Have a good one.